Room 21 Rockstar families, and welcome to another edition of our weekly VODCAST. I hope that you guys had a great week. I know that we had a wonderful first full 5-day week in Room 21. You know, like I said on the newsletter this week, your scholars just have an incredible level of pure determination and amazing effective effort day in and day out. I know I keep telling them this, and they're probably like, come on, Mr. Riker, but they are absolutely amazing. You guys are awesome. Thank you for your support so far this year. I can't wait to see where our class is going to go this year. So first of all, I would like to congratulate this week's Rockstar of the Week. That would be Walter Pivaral Morales. Walter has been taking the Barrett Academy Constitution on a daily basis and just implementing it himself, but also encouraging his friends to implement it. You know, it is not uncommon to see Walter in class, you know, tapping someone beside him to make sure they're tracking, or getting up and starting a chant, or getting up in front of the class and teaching a concept with amazing passion and using all the feedback that he's given. So for that reason, Walter is this week's Rockstar of the Week. Congratulations goes out to Walter. You know, most of you aren't now signed up for Class Dojo. I update that daily. So, you know, just keep going on there, checking the daily behavior. Your rock stars are so amazing that I haven't really given out many checks. And just a quick reminder with that, you know, if your scholar has no marks for the day, checks or stars or house points, that means they had a good day. You know, and if they get a check, that's just, you know, a redirection to get back on track. You know, it's not the end of the world. It's just kind of reminding them to make sure they get back on track with the Barrett Academy Constitution during the day. You know, your scholars this week got onto Google Classroom for the first time. It's been absolutely amazing. Their login, as promised on the permission form, is on the inside of their binder on a little sticker. So if you want to get on at any time and check it out, you are more than welcome to do that. You know, that's just right on the inside of their blue binder that comes home every single night. Okay. On the newsletter, I did say that PTO McDonald's Spirit Night is on Tuesday. It is actually this Wednesday from 5 to 8 p.m. The teachers will be behind the counter. I'm going to be there at some point. I hope to see you guys there. Again, that is on this Wednesday, September 23rd at the McDonald's across from Walmart on 610. Okay, next week, I believe it's actually, yes, it's Tuesday, September 29th, we will have back to school night. That is going to be taking place from 6 to 7:15. You know, you're going to get a ton of information about how the year is going to unfold, a bunch of other academy expectations, but also, you know, we'll be filling you in with some middle school information and how we can be successful this year in preparation for middle school next year. So I hope to see you guys all next Tuesday, September 29th for back to school night. 6 to 7:15 p.m. here in Room 21. It will be awesome. You know, I need one item from you guys this week, really by Tuesday, if anyone has it at home. If anyone has some shoe boxes just lying around at home, we are creating models of the ocean floor in pairs. Right now I have 4 that I'm bringing in from home, but I'm looking for about 8 more shoe boxes if you have them. You know, any size will work just fine. We're going to be using salt dough to create models of the ocean floor and then graphing the ocean floor using our own creation of sonar to find out how scientists truly map the ocean floor when we really can't even get to most parts of the ocean floor with any equipment that we have today. So if you have any shoe boxes, just bring that in. That would be wonderful. And one other announcement, next Wednesday, the 30th, is an early out day at 1:10 p.m. So, you know, just a quick recap with homework each night. You know, the nightly expectation is just that scholars are reading for at least 30 minutes a night, and also practicing their math facts. I provided them with some fact cards in case they need them, and they have put those into their binder, so those are coming home as well. If you're practicing those 2 things at home, I promise you that everything else is going to be amazing here in class. You know, we get all our practice in class, and the VODCAST is always up and ready to rock and roll every Sunday with a ton of strategies under the VODCAST section of our website, so you can always check that out as well. And you'll find a ton of different information. Now I'm going to send you over to Mr. Reichert and the VODCAST. I'll see you guys on the other end. Okay, Room 21 Rockstar family, so I'm starting you off today at our class website. Once again, the web address is reichertrockstars.weebly.com. All of the Rockstars now have a sticker with the website and their Gmail username and password right inside of their blue binder so that they can get on at home, and so you can check out Google Classroom as well if you would like. Now, I have a ton of strategies I want to get to today, so let's get right to it. Remember, the number one area where you want to visit, Rockstars, when you're doing vodcast-related activities is under the VODCAST tab on our website, and then everything's divided by subject. So this week in math, we're kind of in between topics, because we just took our test on Friday, and this week we're starting prime and composite numbers. So a couple of things that you can do this week. Number one, I kept the activities up from last week, and I'll offer the same amount of house points, 1 point for each problem that you solve, with both rounding decimals and whole number problem solving. But then I also have a few other things that you can do this week to kind of get ready for prime and composite numbers. And you may be saying right now, Mr. Reichert, I have no idea what prime and composite numbers even are. And that's totally okay as well. So I have created a little activity that you can do at home, and I'm actually giving it a whopping 10 house points because it's going to take a little bit of time. So first, I want you to find 5 numbers in your house that are 100 or less. Okay, they could be on anything. You could go into the kitchen and look on a box. You could get people's ages if that is okay with them. You can, find numbers absolutely anywhere. Make sure there are 5 different numbers. They have to be 100 or less. Then write those 5 numbers down. The easy part is identifying whether they are odd or even. Okay, so beside each of them, write odd or even. Then here's where we're getting into what we're going to be talking about this week. First, I would like you to list the factors of the numbers that you have chosen. So let me give you an example here. Remember, all the factors are numbers that can go into a number. So say, for instance, that I found the number 49, okay, in my house. Okay, I have to, first of all, identify if it's odd or even, so it's definitely odd. And then I have to find out, what are all the factors for this number? So I know that 1 and 49 are factors to begin with. Okay, 1 times 49 is 49. That's the identity property of multiplication. What are some other factors that could go into 49? Well, 7 times 7. So 7 is a factor of 49. Are there any other numbers that go into 49? No, that would be it. So those are my 3 factors, and I would want to write those from least to greatest. I kind of ran out of space there. That's kind of sloppy. Let me show you how I would expect them to be written, guys. Kind of like this. You do not have to write 7 2 times. Okay, and you guys worked on this last year in 4th grade, so this part of it should be a little bit of a review. Okay, so my factors of 49 are 1, 7, 49. Make sure you find the factors for all the different numbers. And then what I want you to do, after you do that for all 5 numbers, create a riddle for 2 of the numbers, a riddle that we can actually figure out. Okay, so maybe I'm going to use the number 49. I could start off by saying, and let me actually type this so that makes a little bit more sense for you. Let me decrease the font. So maybe let's say clue number 1 is I have a 2-digit number. Okay, remember I'm using the number 49, so you're kind of getting an inside look into my number. Okay, next thing I want to say is my number is odd. Then I want to kind of help whoever's solving my riddle to kind of find an area where they can kind of direct their attention. So I'm going to say my number is greater than 7 times 6. 7 times 6 is 42. And less than 10 times 5, which is 50. Remember, my number is 49. Okay. Now, would that totally single out the number 49? No, because you have other numbers that are odd and 2-digit numbers between 42 and 50. So we have to kind of somehow weed it out a little more. And here's what I could do, since I've already talked about factors. The factors of my number, oops, sorry guys. The factors of my number are 1, 7, and 49. Okay, now that might give it away if you say 49. Maybe you could say 2 of the factors of my number are 1 and 7. Okay, let's make it a little more challenging. 2 of the factors are 1 and 7. So, make it a little more challenging for your friends. But the thing you have to make sure when you're writing these riddles is that we actually come upon that number. You can't leave it open for other numbers to be possible. If I just had clue 1, 2, and 3 here, I could have many numbers as my answer. You have to keep whittling it down. And when we start learning prime and composite this week, you'll be able to add even further clues. So, if you write down 5 numbers, tell me if they're odd or even, list all the factors for each of those numbers, and then create 2 riddles for 2 of the numbers. You get 10 house points if you bring the assignment into class with your best handwriting rock stars. Okay, we have to be able to read it, and if it meets all those requirements, it will become one of our problems of the day. So put a lot of effort into that, and you never know, you might see it up on the problem of the day board. So that's what I have this week for you guys in math. Remember, you can go back to rounding decimals, whole number problem solving. You can check out the prime and composite numbers probably later in the week. I would say probably Tuesday and Wednesday. Some of you already know what prime and composite numbers are, but if you don't, maybe wait until about Wednesday to complete this activity, and you can get 1 house point for each of those tasks. Okay? In reading, once again, we're sticking with main idea. I have these videos down that I had last time. You can still write down the main idea of this video right here and bring it in for 5 house points if you hadn't. And this video right here is going to be great to just kind of recap what is main idea. Try to use the GIST strategy like we used in class with the honeybee article, where you write down 10 to 15 words that you hear over and over, and then you read those words in your head, and then you try to formulate a main idea in 1 or 2 sentences. And you could also try renaming the title of a passage, because remember we talked about that can also indicate the main idea as well. I added something this week, and this will kind of come into play with guided reading, but I have the main idea guiding questions. These are some questions that you can use whenever you are reading anything really to figure out the main idea. So these will be up for the next 3 weeks while we're talking about main idea, but if you answer any of these questions with the book that you're reading at home for the 40 book goal this year, bring it into class, you can get 3 house points, guys, okay? These would be great questions to bring up during guided reading as well, because they really show that you have down the main idea of a text. Finally, we have our writing fix of the week. This is a pretty cool picture. You have to tell a story using this picture. Be sure to include sizzling vocab about this image. So think back to your writer's flip book, okay? We don't want those boring words anymore. If you're going to use a word good or bad or nice or sad or mad, try to put something in there that brings it to life a little bit more, just like your most important piece. Bring that story into class and you can earn 5 house points for that. It is time right now for the secret hashtag of the week, which is worth 5 house points. Now, when you bring in the hashtag of the week this week, scholars, you have to make sure you have an incredible amount of passion, okay, because this is going to be the best week ever. And there is going to be a special guest in class this week, and his name is going to be Eratosthenes. Now, I'm going to say that one more time because that's a hashtag, but it's hashtag Eratosthenes. Let me say it one more time. You got to get it down. Eratosthenes. It kind of sounds like your knees at the end, okay, and air at the beginning, and toss in the middle. Eratosthenes, okay? Eratosthenes, hashtag Eratosthenes, 5 house points, but you got to bring it in with some passion, okay? And you will get those points. Make sure you keep that to yourself and you're not telling fellow scholars in class, just to make sure that they are coming to the VODCAST as well. This week in science, so excited, guys. We are starting oceans. Since we are just starting our oceans unit, something cool that you can actually do is visit this site here from National Geographic. It has a ton of different articles about the oceans. If you just take one of those articles, read them, write down the main idea, bring it in, you'll get a couple house points as well. And that'll be a good area for you just to kind of get some background information about the oceans. And remember, like I said earlier in the VODCAST, if you have a shoebox that you could bring in by Tuesday for our lab, that would be wonderful. We are going to be making an incredible mess, but having so much fun while we create the ocean floor and map it using our homemade version of sonar. And guys, I kept up the observation versus inferences pictures. Remember, observations are things that we see with our senses, okay, like it states here, and inferences are things that kind of explain an observation. If you just look at these pictures that I have available here, and write down some observations and inferences about these photographs, then you can get house points for that as well. I do want to take you guys back to the homepage really quickly because we have a few new features now that the year has gotten started. Number one, our focus of the week is on here each week. I talked to you guys about that in class. We do have our first quiz on the focus of the week on Friday, and these are our new prefixes for the week. Dis meaning, dis meaning not, okay, as in dislike or dishonest or disable or disrespect, and miss meaning wrong or bad, okay, so those are there. And finally, we have our Academy House Point standings for the first week. These little logos will move up and down based on rankings, but right now the Blue House is in the lead with 408 house points. So scholars, every house point counts, as we learned last year with the Red House and the Orange House, so make sure that you are trying your best on that vodcast and bringing it in. And make sure you show your parents our Google Classroom site and what we're doing on it. Remember, you can just come down to the Scholar Links section and click on the Google Classroom logo, and that will take you right to our Google Classroom page, which right now appears to be down, so I apologize for that. But make sure you show that to your parents. Remember, your login is on the inside of your binder. Okay, now I'm going to turn you back over to Mr. Reichard in person. 21 Rockstar families, I hope that the strategies this week were successful. As always, give me some feedback. Are they too much, too little? Would you like to see anything else in the vodcast? I would love the feedback. You guys can always contact me at my school email. You can call me on my cell phone or at school. At any time, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. Your scholars are absolutely amazing, Room 21 Rockstar families, and that is why you are the best families in Stafford County, and I will see you next week.